Namato Ratanata Yesa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Tuesday, the 24th of November 2020. And this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here with you tonight. Hello, Simona from Italy, Linda, Margaret, Manish, and Karina, and everyone. So first of all, my apologies and that I was unable to give a talk yesterday, partly because of my headache, and also had a interfaith meeting regarding partly about the Holocaust Memorial Service, which is going to happen online. And I was having a headache, so it's been for the first time after many years having this headache continuously more than 2 days, and still having it a little bit, but I'm okay. And secondly, I would like to announce our appreciation towards the generous donation, like the Varuni, £100 towards the accountant's service after she had been working so much sorting out the center's account, and again the accountant's charge also paid by herself. So I would like to thank you for all your effort and all your dedication and generosity. Meanwhile, also would like to extend my appreciation and thanks to Jayadeva, who offered £160 towards the electricity bill, monthly electricity bill. So thank you very much, Jayadeva and Ranjani. And Kim, thank you very much for your generous donation of £90 towards firewood. Firewood, which we normally need quite a bit every year. So last year she also offered firewood, about 130 or 40 pounds of this one lorry, a lot of one lorry firewood. And today again she came up to the center and offered £90 towards the firewood. So that means this winter probably we can manage with these. So thank you everyone. Meanwhile, whether it's a small generous donations or many, continuous your generosity helps us to stay the center and continue our service to the many people to come. Like continuously every day there are someone coming to offer a lunch, and then every now and then someone is coming to support and help at the center, and wherever we need to support, and then they are also there as well. So thank you, and really appreciate all the supports. And today I posted a few pictures from our barn. The floor, the first layer of the floor has been done, and now it's a second stage on the floor. But now, if we need it, we can clean it and use it. But we will wait and see the thinking of a second layer and some colors, wall painting needed to do as well. Right, so it's been a couple of nights that I have been thinking to continue from what I have left. So that basically, like the series of a talk through the life of the Buddha. So I started from the first discourse of the Buddha, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and extending towards the 5 ascetics, and then extending to the second most famous discourse was the Anattalakkana Sutta, where he, the Buddha, gave discourse on non-self, and which on the basis of that non-self theory, which is the most fundamental teachings of the Buddha, allowed or encouraged or helped all 5 disciples to be an arahat, or the noble ones, by basically understanding that every single thing that is conditioned arises are subject to decay and dissolve. Nothing remains. So that's again, we need to understand this fact that nothing remains the same, everything will change. Sometimes people face with such a difficult times in their lives, and then thinking that there is no other ways and there is no other option, and with that they go into the deeper mentally disturbed, and stress and anxiety clicks in, and with that become a more negative, and anything that happens is simply questioning that why me. So like that, all what we need to understand that there is always a way. It's up to us to choose which one you want to choose, and nothing will remain the same, always changing at all the time. It's our attachment to the things that unchanged. Okay, so in this particularly uncertain time and difficult time, we need to be very mindful that nothing remains the same. And I know that there are so many people suffering from not having a job, and meanwhile, because of staying at the same place and same house for a long time, has generated so much domestic violence and breakdown of our relationships. And with that, more problems have increased. So in those situations, I just would like to tell you that do not be discouraged, and do not think that there is no way. There's always a way. It's up to us to choose the way we want to walk on. It's up to us to choose. Sometimes people may have prosperity in their lives, food to eat, place to stay, and then nothing to worry about. In a home, there is a roof over their head, and there's nothing to worry about, all the expenses. And yet, sometimes they can be felt bored, or there's something more than that needed to have. Okay? So do not be discouraged, and do not think that you are the only one and this is happening to me. Always a choice. There's always a hope. All what you need is to just speak it out and ask for the help, because we are not born perfect in every aspects. We all have deficiencies in different forms and different ways. All what we need is to learn from it day by day, learning and surviving on this difficulties is human nature. And then we have a very good so-called survival instinct. All what you need is to encourage yourself and saying that I am okay, and it will go well, and I can be fine. This is the mindset you need to develop, and once you have got that state of the mind that everything gonna be okay and you are working towards it, then definitely you will be fine. I remember a few years ago when I was walking down on the Union Street, which is now completely different scene in Union Street now, all the change now. In those days, I used to walk around in the Union Street simply to let people know that there is a Buddhist monk in Aberdeen. There was one day it happened that there was one man who was sitting asking for some change, and I sat down, I talked to him, and then it happened that he was broke and he didn't have any place to stay and he hasn't got any job, but he hoped he had some terrible time that I think I forgot. The story is in my book, Kalyana Metta Chitta, one of the books that I've written. It's in there. I don't remember exactly all the stories, but the story was that I think his daughter's birthday was coming, and then his daughter wanted to have a good present from him, but he didn't have any penny to buy a good gift for her. But so as a result of that, he was sitting on the Union Street and begging for that money. And I sat down and I gave him 10 pounds, and he was over the moon. And he didn't accept at first. And that's how you will find the way when you have a difficulties. All what you need is that take your time and think about, and then go on. Yeah? Never be late. All what we need is to have faith within ourselves, a confidence within ourselves that I can do that. And furthermore, what I always tell everyone, and again, this is my thinking all the time, that there is no failure, and there is no failure at all. Okay? Suppose if you have been going for one training, any training, and then after a couple of weeks of a training, and then at the end there is an exam, and if you fail that exam, then normally people think that I am failed. But my understanding is that you got another opportunity to work so you can be perfect on that subject. Although you fail at that time doesn't mean that you don't have any knowledge about it. You do, but somehow the questions that is there, you just simply not able to comprehend and able to answer that. So that's perfectly fine. Similarly, when I gave Life in the UK test about when was it? 2010, I think. Yeah, sometimes 2010. I gave the test, Life in the UK test, and I was so sure and I was so confident with the knowledge that I have read from the book, and I was, like every page is of that Life in the UK test book I could remember. And then with that confidence I went to take a test, and I did it within less than a half of time that is given, and it appeared, and I was so confident that I am passed, but I wasn't. Yeah? So that doesn't mean I give up. Yeah? And then again I went back to read again, and then booked another test, but after that I didn't prepare, and I didn't even expect. I simply went and said, whatever will be, will be. and it happened. I was passed. Something like that. And similarly, when I was before come to contact with the Buddhism, I used to learn this martial arts, and bodybuilding, and those things, and playing football, like that. But I never had any certificate on that. But that doesn't mean I do not know. I do know some of those techniques and some of those ways of protecting things. So that's why there is no failure at all in whatever we do, whatever we've been doing. In our life is a challenge. Life is simply a challenge that we have to work it out. So failure is, in a way, is a gift that makes us more stronger and gives us more opportunity to learn more. All what we need is the faith within, faith within yourself, and have a confidence, particularly in this uncertain time. So many people lost their job, and so many people has got the problems with their families, paying off mortgages, problem with the paying of mortgages, loans, even accommodations, and so and so. In this uncertain time, let's have a faith within that you will be able to overcome, and then you will be, I'm sure, will get some help, some way or another, somehow or another. You will be fine with it. Okay, so this is how it happens. And on the same thing, after the Buddha had ordained the 5 disciples, the 5 monks, and all 5 monks became an Arhat, the noblehood, he was still staying at the Saranath in Varanasi at that time. And there was one particular gentleman who was also very rich, and he had also 3 castles and all the entertainments, and he didn't have to worry about the payments and any works. But somehow on one of the nights he woke up in the middle of the night, and he realized that all those entertained ladies were sleeping all around like a corpse, dead bodies. And with that he felt that, oh, what a world it is. I think I was enjoying this world, how this world is. Now suddenly he realized this very unsatisfactory, the world that we are living in, and like we all wish or a desire to have a good house, good car, good income, so that you don't have to worry about going to work, and you don't have to worry about paying any bills, and so and so. And this is what we think is the life, materially life. And this Yesa Kulaputta, this young man was like that. He was very wealthy, and yet suddenly on that night when he woke up, he realized that all what he thought is the luxury is basically, it's like you are in the middle of the cemetery. So he felt like, oh, this is so boring. This is so kind of. He felt it's not a place, a quiet place. So he went away from his house or a palace or a mansion. He left, and then just more. He was just simply saying that, oh, what a disturbing, and went in. And it happened that the Buddha was staying nearby his village, his city. So he, as a young man with the thought of finding a peace, in the jungle, he went into the jungle, and as he walked, he simply, speaking out that, oh, so terrible, it's not peace in here. And then as he walked in, and somehow the Buddha heard what he was saying, then the Buddha said, oh, come here, here is a peace. Oh, come here, here is peace. And this is like, many people have said here in Aberdeen as well, that they are living in a city and it's so crowded and always chaos and so much noise and something like that. The very moment when they come to the center, they feel peace and harmony and calm, and good vibes are here. Something like that, and as a result of that, we can see that in summer so many people come to the center and just to come for a walk or come to talk to the monks and help to the center, and that's simply because of the calmness and because of the peace that we have here. It is not far away from the city, and it's easy to come, easy to enjoy. So similarly, Yesa, this young man, went into the forest, and somehow that's nearby where the Buddha was. So Buddha told him that, come here, here is a peace. So he went to see the Buddha. And when he went to see the Buddha, and then having met to the Buddha, and this is how the Buddha began to teach him as a first householder. He was the first householder ever that the Buddha taught, because previously the 5 ascetics, they were already ordained as an ascetic, ordained as ascetics. So the Yesa, young man, he was the first wealthy man, prosperous, came to the Buddha. And on that occasion, Buddha didn't teach him. Buddha didn't teach him about meditation, about Four Noble Truths, about liberation, nothing. The first thing the Buddha taught him is about how to let go. And here, first letting go that the Buddha taught him is not about, again, his emotion, not about his feelings, but about the material wealth that he was possessing or he had. And the Buddha simply told him about what is letting go of the material thing that we, or normally people, enjoy acquiring or accumulating the vast number of wealth. End of the day, we have to leave everything behind. So with that, the first thing Buddha taught was the letting go of the material things. And then a second teaching, after this young man understood that how daunting that we all are fighting and chasing towards the accumulation of the wealth, but end of the day we have to leave it. And Buddha further instructed, saying that whatever you give, it will remain to you. And with that, when he realized the concept of a letting go of the material thing, then the Buddha taught him how to practice sila, the precepts, our moral ethics, and saying that if you are practicing morality, then that will bring safety in this world as well as safety hereafter, and will be able to reborn in a good place. And the third teachings that the Buddha gave to him was the attainment or reborn in the heavenly realms. And this again, heavenly realms, according to the Buddha's teachings, as we know that the planes of existence, there are 31 planes of existence, and one of them is the human world. And above human world is known as the heavens, and there are so many layers of heavens that the Buddha talked about. So and the third one is about the heavenly world, attainment of the heavenly world. And the fourth one was Buddha was again coming back to the renunciation. So letting go of the worldly matters and even our own sense of me or identity. And that's why when you become a monk, you will be given a new name. So you're leaving all your backgrounds, leaving your all nationality, ethnic group, all any boundary, any identities that you have. So you will be given a new name and said that you are called homeless. So as a monk, we are homeless, and we also don't have any backgrounds, although because of the modernity we do have to say that, oh, I was born in Nepal, I was trained in Thailand, I am a Buddhist monk, so and so. But in a monastic order, I am simply a monk who has ordained over 20 years. That's all. Okay, so that's how it's called. The fourth teachings is the renunciation, Nekhammakata, renunciation. And the fifth one, and after that, when he was able to let go of his own identity, let go of ability to renounce the worldly affairs and worldly matters, then the Buddha taught him the Four Noble Truths. See, the stages. That's why this teaching is known as gradual teaching. And this is the first time ever Buddha talked to the householder. So, and this is called the gradual teaching. And after hearing the Four Noble Truths, this Yesa, young man, fully understood and wanted to become a monk too. So I end here with this short introduction, and following days I will be focusing on these 5 gradual teachings and see how far we can go. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask. During this time you can text and then I will answer your questions. So thank you everyone for listening, and may you all be well and happy. Take care of yourself. In a few moments time we're going to have evening chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night, and may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. Sadhu.